Students, we'll start the discussion of different types of addresses at the data link layer. Students, there are three types of addresses that we normally use, different situations. The first one is the unicast address. The second one is the multicast address. And the last one is the broadcast address. Students, every host, which means that every node, which includes the source host, destination host, all the other hosts, as well as the connecting devices, they are assigned a unicast address. Students, using the unicast address, we can do one-to-one communication. If a source host wants to send a particular piece of information or a frame to a specific interface of the router, and it has got the link address of that particular interface of the router or the unicast address of that particular interface of the router, then it can send it only to that interface. This is called unicast exchange, and the address is known as the unicast address. Students, the second type of address is called the multicast address. Multicast means one-to-many. Students, it is a kind of a broadcast, but the jurisdiction is local, within a link. So within a link, if you want to broadcast something to everybody that's sitting on that link, only the link, then we use this multicast address. And students, the third type is called the broadcast address. Students, as the name indicates, this means everybody on the network. So when a particular host sends a packet or a frame, in this particular case, to using a broadcast address, then that particular frame gets transmitted to all the entities that are there on that network. Students, ये तीन types के addresses हैं जो कि हम लोग normally use करते हैं at the data link layer to transmit our frames, and you'll see that each one of these addresses has got its own uses, some specific benefits that are associated with each one of these types. And what we'll do is we'll go to some examples and we'll look at the examples of each one of these addresses as to how we represent them in our most commonly used data link layer protocol and the LAN or local area network, which is Ethernet. Students, first example, unicast physical addresses or unicast link layer addresses. And this is an example of the most common local area network technology, which is Ethernet. So students, Ethernet में हमारे जो link layer unicast addresses हैं, they are of 48 bits, which is equivalent to 6 bytes, and they are presented as 12 hex digits or hexadecimal digits, which are separated by colons. Students, गौर कीजिएगा, हमारे पास total 48 bits है, 6 bytes हैं और 12 hex digits हैं, which are separated by colons. Students, in this particular case, you can see that this is a physical address or a unicast link layer address of a computer. The second digit, it needs to be an odd number. In this particular case, we have a 3. Why do we do this? We will find it out in our next example. Students, in the next example, this is an example of the multicast link layer address. And this is a link layer address in the most common LAN, which is Ethernet. Once again, we have 48 bits. We have 6 bytes. They are represented as 12 hex digits again. And in this case, we have got the second digit as an even number, which represents a multicast address. Unicast के केस में हमारा second digit था, that was odd, and that represented a unicast address. Students, finally, the broadcast link layer address in Ethernet, once again, is 48 bits, but it consists of all ones. So, in the hex or hexadecimal, this is FF colon FF colon FF and so on. And if a frame is sent to this broadcast address, it will actually be received by every single entity that's sitting on that particular network. And therefore, this is going to be a broadcast frame.